Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda Marsalis. Welcome to Heard It on the Shark. Heard It on the Shark is a weekly interview show that airs every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Shark 102.3 FM radio station based in Ripley, Mississippi. Then it's released as a podcast on all the major podcast platforms. You'll hear interviews with the movers and shakers in North Mississippi who are making things happen. I'll talk to entrepreneurs, leaders of business, medicine, education, and the people behind all the amazing things happening in North Mississippi. When people ask you, how did you know about that? You'll say, I heard it on the Shark. Musical credit belongs to Hill Country Blues guitar legend Gary Burnside and the late great Buddy Grisham, playing Long Way Home from their album Acoustic Brothers, which was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
This program was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda with another episode of Heard It on the Shark. And today in Sun Bear Studio, I have with me Miss April Pounders, who is the career coach for Thrasher High School. April, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
April, I knew you when you were a teacher, and you have retired from teaching and have come back as a career coach. That's exciting.
Yes, ma'am. I retired after 25 years in education, and now I'm back in the schools, just in a little bit different setting, and I'm really enjoying the new job.
When you were a teacher, did you teach little kids or big kids?
The majority of my 25 years was spent in middle school, but I did make a pretty big swing at the end, and my last 2 years were spent in pre-K, which is quite an adjustment, but it all ended up well.
And so now you're working, is it exclusively high school people?
For the most part, we work a lot. Obviously, we start kind of with our seniors, juniors, and we do, though, try to filter down and even go read to our elementary students and middle school and talk to them to go ahead and get them, become aware early on and making them think about careers early on and sharing information with them that they might not otherwise know if we didn't tell them.
Are you hired by the school district?
No, ma'am. We're hired by Three Rivers Development District out of Pontotoc, Mississippi. We work in the schools, but we're not under the school umbrella.
I think every high school in Northeast Mississippi has a career coach now.
Most all of them do. There's quite a few. Think about the fourth year that it's been in progress, and things have just gotten better each year.
It seems to get more momentum every year, and I just find it to be the most wonderful thing to do for high school students, to help them figure out how they can be employed, enrolled, enlisted, ready to roll no matter which direction they're going after high school.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, just today I took some pictures of our kids, my seniors, now that they've the time's coming close, graduation's near, and they all was deciding if they're going to enlist in the military, which I had one to do that. Most of them are enrolling in Northeast Community College, which is right there in our back door. And then we do have some, though, that want to go straight to work, and that's fine also. We just try to find what fits best for each student.
On the straight to work people, are there like soft skills that you try to teach people if the next thing they do is to go right out into the workforce, what do you teach them?
Yes, ma'am. I try to go into our CCR classes at the school, which is College and Career Readiness, and I know I've been in, and we have talked about soft skills and hard skills. Most of them are not aware of what soft skills, they don't realize that's what they're called. And so we practice some of that. Recently, I've been taking small groups into the community actually to learn about how you get a car tag. We're doing some life skills, researching or making them ask questions to the people like at the tag office, what's required to get this tag, electric department, they realize that their credit score even helps determine what type of fee they'll pay to turn their electricity on. And through these life skills that we have done, we talk about too, shaking hands, looking each other in the eyes, all those type of, soft skills, communication skills. So we kind of group all that together, and that's been very helpful. And everywhere I went, all the people that helped us were just like, oh man, this is so needy. Wish they all could do this. So.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And it will, like you said, just get better as you guys kind of learn the ropes and figure out what's important. And one of the important things that you do is job shadowing. I'd like to talk about that for a minute. Tell me how the Job Shadow program works.
Job shadowing, I think, is a huge benefit to our students. I know, like you and I, when we were in school, we didn't have that opportunity, and I hear that a lot in the community, like, oh, I wish I could have done this, in high school. And one of the greatest benefits of job shadowing is it allows students just to step outside of the classroom and into the real world. And they're not just reading about the career on the computer in a book, or somebody's, talking to them. Because we know with students in high school, being former educators, sometimes they kind of half hear what we're telling them as a teacher or a career coach. And this really gets them out there, and they're seeing firsthand what the job is really like. They're getting to see professionals, and they kind of can picture maybe whether they themselves would work in that particular career. Job shadowing will help students make better career decisions early. Some students will walk away from a shadow and they're like, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. And then other times they're like, no, that's just really not going to fit me, and that's not bad. That's a valuable lesson. And so it's much better for these students to discover this early before investing years and lots of money in college and something they end up not even enjoying.
I've heard so many career coaches say that some of the best job shadowing events end with the kid going, well, that's not for me, because that's such a good thing to know.
Exactly. For example, you say that I had one student first semester, and he shadowed at a physical therapy clinic. And so while he was there, part of that involved dry needling. Well, he nearly passed out watching it. So he came away from that experience realizing real quickly, no, this is probably not the career path for me. And so that was a success story. That wasn't bad. I'm thankful that we have businesses that are willing to open their doors and allow these students in so they can know.
And I know, now I'm plugged into all you career coaches because we do a lot of interviews, and so I know you all, and we have received several job shadow people, and it's just a day, right? Is that how you work your program?
Yes, ma'am. And every business or place kind of varies. Some places will have it set, like the hospital, like 4 hours at Magnolia Hospital in Corinth, and really just by business. Some of them may stay the whole day. We have students that have completed ride-along on an ambulance, and so depending on if they're called out, they might be there a while longer. It just varies from job to job.
I can just see how that would be so beneficial. Not like you're taking on an intern for a semester that you have to train to do something. It's one day and you can work with them. Tell our Shark fans who are listening, who might have a business and be interested, what they should do to get involved.
So if you have a business and you're interested in letting students shadow, you can reach out to any of the area career coaches, and they would be happy to help you. And, if there is a student in their school interested in the profession you are involved in, they can set that up. The job shadowing, it's not quite as in-depth, obviously, as an internship, but it does give a little glimpse, almost like a little mini interview. I tell my students, when you're going in there, make that good impression, because that might end up one day turning into a job. As a matter of fact, sometimes I call it the domino effect, because I've had a student that started as a simple job shadow. That job shadow turned in later. We were able to get him an internship. Then the internship led the employer. He was pleased with the work of the student, and he hired him on for the summer, this past summer. Now that student's actually he's actually in HVAC working, but he's in the program and was able to continue on, getting true firsthand real experience. And so it just gives me chills thinking about it. I just love it, and all the connections and the confidence they gain, too, when they're job shadowing and being a part of that. Another benefit with if the businesses decide to allow the shadows in there, again, it's like a little mini interview, and so they get to see kind of what the workforce is going to be looking like in the near future, and that helps them also kind of see what's out there ahead of time. And, they reach out. I just had a student job shadow yesterday, as a matter of fact, in a law firm, and they were really impressed with her, and they even mentioned doing an internship with her there, not even through how we handle it. But so that's very impressive. You can tell from just one day they're already making such a impression with these employers. So at the end of the day, job shadowing gives students a glimpse into their future. It helps them ask better questions, make smarter decisions, and then start building a path toward a career that truly fits them.
Thank you, April, for not really retiring to kind of retire, but stay out there with the students and the schools, because that you have such a long career with kids and you understand them, and I appreciate you putting yourself out there for them. So thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank you for having us.
We are going to feature a different career coach every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Shark 102.3 during the month of April, so you can see all of the great work that the career coaches from Three Rivers Planning and Development are doing out there in our local high schools. And that's it for this edition of Heard It on the Shark. You can tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to find out what's going on from our local community leaders like April Pounders. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for an interview, or if you want access to this interview, you can go to our website, shark1023.com, and click on the podcast tab. Keep it tuned to the Shark 102.3 and have a great rest of the day. This show is made possible by JC Media, LLC in Ripley, Mississippi. JC Media owns the Shark 102.3 Classic Rock FM radio station where the show is hosted. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite app or stream episodes online at shark1023.com/podcasts. We also have an email in which you can share your feedback. That email is theshark1023@gmail.com.